Well, then my question is, you all mentioned that great founders have more chances to succeed. So what is great founder for you? So what metrics for you are in the market now? So what metrics, what basically adaptive success metrics, especially in digital mental health or in impact startups, what these metrics are? Who are these great companies and startups who are successful now? I mean, in fundraising.
Yeah, well, I had a startup myself, so I think I look different to startups than other investors maybe, who only had a banking background or used to look at Excels and see it from there. So I'm really interested in the founder itself, and you want to have multiple conversations with founders to see if they're really smart, they're consistent, if there's really kind of founder product fit, because for some people the startup scene is like a kind of game, you know. They think, okay, wow, drinking lattes the full day, co-working place, having money from others, and playing a little bit and see where we're going to end. That was not so in the past.
So they play game under the someone else's money.
They play game on someone else's money. Yeah? When Steve Jobs was there inviting his stuff, then it was just a crazy idiot trying to start a company. Nobody did that. Everyone started working with the big companies. So that was then something new. But now it's a kind of choice. You can become a founder. It's funny. It's nice. You get some status maybe. And also the decks, for example. From a VC perspective, you get maybe 100 decks a month or a week, and all the decks are looking good, you know. Because you can search on the internet, brilliant deck, you find brilliant deck, you fill in the metrics and some photos, some AI-generated photos, and then, wow, cool. And then your company is pre-seed 3 million valuation. And then you hope that somebody's going to invest in it, you drink some coffee. But investors are not that stupid, of course. And some VCs even started to take, let's say, cold introductions. They only, if you're not you're not referred by someone, then they will not, invest time in you, because what people do not realize is that, for example, VCs have a very limited time. When you have 2 or 3 people, then in a team to talk to founders, then you can have a limited number of conversations each week. So you cannot personally have calls with 100 founders. So, for founders, you've basically building relationships is very, very important. Being very serious if you reach out to an investor and really try to trigger the right topic or get an introduction by someone else, and then be really prepared. It's basically common sense, of course, but
so network is very important, right?
Network and also from I saw research last week, I think. They analyzed all the unicorns and from the last 2 decades, and then what kind of founders, what type of founders were that. And I think half of them never went to university. So for me, that's not a big thing. If you go to university, not to university, does not really matter, because also from the research it doesn't really matter. Then the most founders that were successful had an engineering background. They really understood the problem. They work for a bigger company. So that is also, I take it in mind, because I also have a business education. And when you have a business education, you basically do not know a thing. You can only talk. Yeah? So you rely on other people that are much smarter than you, that really do know stuff. And another thing is that in startup, people are many times quite young. I was also young, I was 23 when I started, but the age of successful founders is on average 44. So it's quite old, you know? So I prefer now, to be very honest, to invest in founders that are, let's say, 30 plus. Because my experience with younger founders, you have a lot of exceptions, of course, so be the exception, of course. But from just the statistics, you know that a little bit older founder especially a second-time founder or with technical experience, have a more chance to get better end results than younger founders. And that can also be a reason to work with venture studios, of course, because then you can have both. You can have young founders, but you also have experienced people, and then you have an ecosystem, and then that's fine.
Thanks. Vitaly, Alex?
I can talk really long about founders, great founders, but we as a fund, we don't pay attention to some formal things like education and so on, so it's not important for us. What we pay attention to is basically two things. First is proven track record. It could be like in any field, like previous startup or previous job. But even if you work for a bigger company, you need to prove that you really made some difference in this company. Or you build something, or you have some achievements at sport, because, from what we see as well, like basically building startup, like Elon Musk said, is like eating glass and staring into abyss. So it's hard. Like it's really rare examples when you can build startup during 2 years and exit and just usually it's like 10 years endeavor, really hard, mostly fails. So you need to be able to prove to investors that you can get things done, and you need to have really high energy. So this is like two really important parts. And if you have high energy, high interest to your market, to your product, naturally you know everything about your market. So but everything can change. So I think that high energy is really, really important, and you need to somehow show that you can do things and you can make changes.
It's a very deep question, Darya, and I will try partially address it tomorrow at another speech about co-founders and how to select ones. I agree with both speakers, actually. I think the founder market fit, or the kind of genuine passion to a specific thing, or not necessarily a market, but a problem, or is very important, because as Vitaly just said, it's a multi-year endeavor, and therefore you need this kind of perseverance and intrinsic motivation to pursue this venture that might fail. Actually, 90% it will fail, and so this combination is extremely important, because when we talk with potential co-founders, I always say that, okay, we as an investor or as a co-founder who brings money to the table, we might lose our money, and that's fine. But you as a co-founder might not necessarily lose your 5 years of your life, but you can spend it differently. So there should be a very good reason to pursue a specific thing or specific matter.